Chapter 6. The Pirate Attack. Slightly ran into the underground home as fast as possible. He was out of breath from running, and his face was pale and worried. "Peter!" he shouted. "Danger! The poison trick failed, so Hook is coming. He wants to attack us." Peter Pan stood up immediately. His face became hard and serious. He looked at his friends. "Everyone, listen," he said loudly. "Gather all weapons. Take your swords and your knives. Get ready for battle." The Lost Boys jumped up and ran to get their weapons. They felt scared, but they also felt brave, because Peter Pan was their leader. "When will he attack?" asked Wendy in a quiet voice. "Soon," said Peter Pan. "Very soon. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. He wanted to weaken us first with the poison, and his trick failed. Now he's coming with swords." John picked up a wooden sword. Michael picked up a small knife. All the Lost Boys got their weapons ready for the fight. "We must make a plan," said Wendy. "We must be smart, not just brave." Peter Pan nodded and said, "You're right. We must plan carefully." They sat together in the underground home, made a plan, and chose where to fight. They put guards at the entrance. Then they made hiding places in the forest. "The pirates can't fit in our home," said Slightly. "They're too big, and they can't come down the rope. We have an advantage here." "But they can trap us inside," said John. "If they wait outside the entrance, they can starve us." "Then we mustn't stay here," said Peter Pan. "We'll go out and fight them in the forest. We know every tree and every rock. Outside, the advantage is ours too." Late in the night, they heard a loud bang, then another bang. The pirates were firing their cannons at the trees. "They're here!" shouted Peter Pan. "The attack starts now. Come!" The children ran out of the underground home and into the dark forest. Out on the water, the pirate ship sat near the shore. Cannons fired again and again. Trees fell down. The ground shook. "Spread out!" shouted Peter Pan. "Hide! Wait for my signal!" The Lost Boys scattered into the forest, hid behind trees and rocks, and waited quietly. The pirates landed on the beach with swords and guns. Captain Hook stood at the front with an angry, evil face, and his hook hand flashed in the moonlight. "Find them!" he ordered. "Find the Lost Boys! Find Peter Pan! Bring them all to me!" The pirates ran into the forest with burning torches. The torchlight danced on the trees and rocks. The men felt uncomfortable in the dark, strange forest. They were sailors, not forest hunters. Peter Pan waited quietly for the right moment. Then he jumped out from behind a rock. "Here I am!" he shouted. "I'm Peter Pan!" The pirates turned and saw him standing there. They charged at him with their swords. Peter Pan was too fast for them. He flew up into the air, and the pirates' swords cut only the air. In the air, the advantage was his. They hit nothing. "Attack them now!" shouted Peter Pan from the air. The Lost Boys jumped out from their hiding places and attacked the pirates. The forest filled with noise and chaos. Swords crashed, men shouted, and children shouted back. In the chaos, the pirates dropped 2 torches. The torches went out in the dirt. One big pirate ran at Michael. Michael was small and afraid, but he was also brave. He swung his knife at the pirate, and the pirate fell down. John fought 2 pirates at once. He was clever, so he made them fight each other. They became confused, and John pushed them down. Slightly fought with his own special skill. He ran between the trees and confused the pirates. The men ran in circles. He hit them from behind, and he hit them from the side. The pirates did not know where to look, and no pirate matched his speed between the trees. Wendy stayed at the back of the fight, helped the hurt children, and gave them courage. "Be brave," she called. "Be strong." Captain Hook was watching from a distance, and his face grew pale with anger. His men were in trouble. A group of children was beating his pirates on every side, and Peter Pan was laughing at them from the air. "Cowards!" he shouted at his men. "You fight like babies. Let me fight the boy myself." He walked forward and looked straight at Peter Pan. His hook hand caught the torchlight. "Boy," he said coldly, "this time we fight. This time one of us dies." Peter Pan flew down to face him, and the two enemies looked at each other. The pirates stopped fighting, the lost boys stopped too, and everyone watched and waited. "You took my hand," said Captain Hook. His voice was full of hate. "You're evil," said Peter Pan. "You must pay for everything." They began to fight, and their swords crashed together with a loud and terrible sound. Hook was very strong. Peter Pan was very fast. They fought and fought. The pirates and the lost boys watched in silence. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. And the only sound was the crash of swords. For a long time, neither one beat the other. They were equally matched. Strength matched speed, and hate matched courage. Then Peter Pan saw an opening in the fight. He moved at exactly the right moment, and he struck with his sword. Captain Hook fell down, and his sword dropped from his hand. He felt a sharp pain in his arm. His pale face turned even whiter. "No!" he screamed. "No! You beat me!" He scrambled backward and tried to get away from the boy. Peter Pan moved toward him. Hook ran back to the beach, and his pirates followed him in a wild retreat. "Retreat!" Hook shouted to his men. "Back to the ship!" The retreat turned into chaos. The pirates scattered across the beach and jumped into their boats. They rowed back to the ship as fast as possible. Captain Hook jumped into the last boat. He looked back at Peter Pan with hate in his eyes. "This isn't the end," he shouted. "I'll come back. I have more men and more weapons. You can't win forever." The boats reached the ship, and the pirates pulled them up. Slowly, the ship turned around and sailed away from the shore. The lost boys cheered and danced together on the beach. Peter Pan stood very still and watched the ship disappear into the darkness. His face was hard. His eyes were cold. "He'll come back," Peter Pan said to Wendy. "He always comes back. Next time, I'll be ready for him. Next time, he won't escape." Wendy looked at Peter Pan and felt a little afraid. At that moment, he did not look like a boy. He looked like a warrior, and he looked dangerous, even to her. The sun came up slowly over Neverland. The battle was over, and the pirates were gone in full retreat. But the war was not finished. The war between Peter Pan and Captain Hook never ends.